US, UK, Australia, and Taiwan, right? So, what do you feel the difference? I mean, in terms of education, I mean, see the Indian students. I mean, in terms of robotics, I mean, the student want to study semiconductor or robotics. What would be your suggestions?
Well,
And
well,
please keep the cost in mind, okay? Please.
okay. So, well, my experience, my opinion is that you want to go for graduate study, especially out of your country, you need to go to some places that you are really being appreciated. You know, so I was an international student before, and well, due to the cultural differences in U.S. and Taiwan or Eastern cultures, you know, so basically, I feel that I'm not part of the U.S. You know, sometimes, you know, even though I try very hard for that, eventually I become the kind of merge in the U.S. environment. But the bottom line is there's some the differences between that. So that's one thing. I think the major difference being going overseas, like into the country that we have the same value. Basically, there's not too much differences in terms of values, and then some sort of the discrimination. You know, sometimes well, the young people probably will face some discriminations and due to the cultural differences and the color differences. If you want to say that, that's one thing. Probably the major things I will say. You want to consider go abroad for graduate study. You need to think about that. The second thing is that well, right now the world is not is flat. You know, everywhere the information is available. So it's not in the 20th century. Right now, it's in 21st century. So information is everywhere. So that, on the other hand, is that the everyone, as long as a human, you know everyone is equal. So you have the opportunity to demonstrate yourself. But so now is there how to get the opportunity, right? So you go to that Taiwanese university, of course, US, UK, of course, you need to be very, very competitive and very, very good to get the support, from your advisor, and nothing is free, So I was a faculty member in US. So I tried very hard to secure my grant. It's very, very competitive, and that means that it's not easy to get every student the support. So you want to study abroad, especially graduate level, and master or PhD, especially PhD. I would say probably getting the financial support, secure financial support is the first thing, and then you work on your research. Your research is not just want to work on the degree only. You want to have your research. You can engage your industry, and then then you can probably reach directly to the companies or research institute directly after you graduate. Well, that is the most important, I think, for graduate study. So you need to say, okay, I got a diploma in my hand. How the diploma worth? But probably you can ask Aniki while you are getting your diploma at hand in NTHU, while you are being appreciated by companies. The companies is not just regular companies like a TSMC, this kind of very top niche semiconductor manufacturing. So in Taiwan, I think that the common value, we appreciate everyone. We recognize everybody's ability, not judged by your color, not judged by your race, not judged by your culture. So you come here, everybody's equal. So the only difference that limit your students or everyone, each one's development is how good you are. So you need to work very hard and actually also work very smart. So work hard and work smart, which is the same value between Indian and Taiwanese culture. You work hard and work smart, right? So that is what I think about the going aboard to get a graduate degree, and you need to get an opportunity. So you need to have a stage, right? So as my student was talking about, there's companies keep hiring Indian students, and once you get a graduate degree from Tsinghua University, actually, you're the top one in Taiwan, and then also the top one actually in Chinese world. Tsinghua actually is recognized as the top university among China. So there's another Tsinghua University in Beijing. So basically, we are brothers. So you can see that Tsinghua, NTHU in Taiwan actually get a benefit between like USA, UK, and then Canada, because we share this kind of Western value as well, and then we have a very traditional values, which we kind of share the same value as Indian culture. And then if you want to go to like China, of course, because the Tsinghua and is the top, is a good brand in China. So what depends on everyone's future plan. So among the different countries and different universities I have worked on, and I found that this university actually provide more opportunities to students, not only domestic students, but also international students as well. So we have the dedicated program, PhD program, master program, and also we have dual degree program. That means you come here for master and PhD. Sometimes there's opportunity for work on the dual degree, like IIT degree and Tsinghua degree, and also, for example, I graduate two PhD students. They got a PhD degree from National Tsinghua University, NTHU, and also from University of Liverpool, UK. So basically, you have two tickets. So I had to go to different world and to develop yourself and to see how good you are. And then I think by doing that, the sky is your limit. It's not that you only have to go to US so that you can get the opportunity. And of course, if you get a good chance to go to the top university in USA, go for it. But then you have to consider if there's you have the financial support, right? So in NTHU, pretty much almost all the international students got you have a worry free, but you have to work hard because we evaluate your performance every semester, and you can apply for scholarship if you are good, so. And then you work hard. My view is that everybody get the support, so that kind of you can be safe and can focus on your research.
So the first question is from Devanand. He's asking, can robotics engineering make students able to work in ISRO and NASA also?
Professor Zhang, can you take this question?
Well, working in NASA, you require a US citizenship. Okay, that is the limit. Okay, so if you hold the US citizenship, definitely you can work in NASA. Okay, and then I have a student from USA, and then actually he worked as an intern in my lab, and then right now he's working in NASA. He's American, so it's not white American. It's kind of like Asian American. So it's a citizenship. Okay, so well, on the other hand, well, you probably ask yourself a question, why working in NASA is the dream job? So are you going to contribute to NASA because this NASA is your dream, or it's just a fame? Or you can contribute back to back to India. So depends on your original goal. So usually my view is that right now I'm 50 years old. My view is that when I was young, I chased for the big fame, the big name. Okay, that's everybody do that. But at the end, you need to think about what is your legend. So you think about after you're 20, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, what people will remember you. And then I think as the Taiwanese, I contribute back to my country. Okay, so well, I work in IBM and I work in the U.S. Air Force. Okay, yeah, so I was the advisor for U.S. Air Force Research Lab in Wright-Patterson Air Force Lab for the design of one of component, very critical component in the for the F-35 jet fighter. But so what? So it's not just the working there is super duper cool, but the how to use the knowledge to contribute back to my motherland and my countrymen. So that's my personal view. Of course, you can work anywhere, depends. Yeah. But different job have a different limit, different requires. Not limit your ability, but different your status, like your citizenship, that kind of things.
And the other thing is, I want to share with you guys is that, so my husband worked in a bank, right? So I live in California for 3 years, and in US I live in more than 5-6 years. Just want to make sure that when my husband worked in a bank, his starting salary is $100,000 US. Okay, starting salary, yeah, and then the I think the bonus will be 30, 40, 30 to like 30,000 US dollar. With that 130,000, almost like, I mean, he's not able to save much money. One thing is that, I mean, it's an expensive place, right? Number one. Number two, that, I mean, the grammar that the people right now, you see the CEO, the Google, the Microsoft, and those like so many high positions are all Indian. Just remember that they all went to US in like 80 or 90, right? That time that there are a lot of opportunity, right? Now one thing you want you to make sure that you don't, time had changed, and China and India, it's going to bound to be a superpower in the future. Just make sure that you don't don't choose the wrong length, wrong channel, or too wrong. Yeah. So not all US, that is not our purpose of saying US is not good. Just want to make sure that you know what's the purpose of your life, that what you want to, contribute to. Yeah, it's not only yeah. So that's very important. Okay, next question. Next.
Yes, thank you. So the next question is from Samarth Kale. He's pursuing his mechanical automobile engineering. So he's asking what chances do he have to pursue his master's at NTHU.
And so he right now he's a study, right?
He's pursuing his bachelor's in mechanical automobile engineering.
So that's what professors say, right? So the chance is that make sure you have the good GPA, right? That's very simple. And especially, I think most of the students, in undergraduate, that you guys don't have paper. If you want to get 100%, admission in NTHU in your master degree, one trick: publish a good paper in the good journal, isn't it, Professor Zhang?
Yeah. So, well, for undergraduate student, if you're interested coming to Tsinghua University, I think my advice as a professor, so is that you kind of contact professor ahead of time. Okay, so there's you knock the door can be will be open. If you do not knock the door, nobody know you are out there. All right. So you send your resume, your CV, so to show how good you are, how eager you are, so and then contact professor ahead of time. Right now you can use the kind of team of Zoom, to talk, right? So it's not in the 20th century like your father or mother, So when I was young, it's very hard to contact professor, but right now you can just set up the channel with the professor. Sometimes you can work in a summer project, so with the professor in Tsinghua University, say, okay, I'm very interested in that, and then show the and just work on that, So and because the admission process in Tsinghua University is different, it's separate from domestic student, so it totally depends on professor. Totally depends, and of course, there's a gate. Your GPA should be high enough. It's good enough, and top good. We only accept the good university students, and not good students from university. But to be honest with you, not many professors know about you. so you contact professors, and then they know, oh, you're eager to do that, and then probably they'll try to see if they can company kind of accept you, ahead of time. Not formally, but just say, okay, then we can work on something, and they can start the process, and your admission process will be kind of to the international office, and the process down to department level, and the professor actually the person to make the choice.
Yeah, right. And just make sure that you guys, if you are an undergraduate, just make sure that you you have the good GPA, right? So that is the first criteria that the professor will say whether that at least a student is your job, right? If you don't have the good GPA and you tell the sir, I'm the good student, it's very difficult. It's not very convincing. Yeah. So first do your job, to get the good GPA. Yes. Okay. Next.
Yes, thank you. So the next question is from most of the students is like, what is the criteria for PhD? Like only paper publication is okay, or like will there be any sort of exam or entrance kind of thing?
Yeah. So for PhD, for graduation to be able to eligible for degree, in my department, the minimum requirement is to, of course, first of all, you have to pass the qualifying exam. The qualifying exam is different from USA or UK system. The qualifying exam in my department, basically, you have to pass the 4 courses. Okay, so there's a list of courses, probably 12 courses, from which you select 4 courses. And then you pass A minus, A or A plus, A minus. There's some criteria there. So basically, I don't think it's hard for that for Indian student. And then after pass the qualifying exam, you can declare yourself as a PhD candidate, doctorate degree candidate. Then you have a proposal, thesis proposal. In that stage, definitely, that is probably like after 2 years, you will pass a qualifying exam, which pass 4 courses, and then you at the same time you are working with your professor on some project, right, or research. Then you have some preliminary result. You can publish some conference paper or journal papers, and then you can propose your research, PhD research, and after that, then before going for the Viva. In UK, we call Viva, which is in US, we call the thesis defense. And then you need to submit all your informations, including the publication record, to the committee. And the minimum requirement is that 1 SCI paper and 2 EI index paper. But in general, in my department, so especially my lab, every PhD student actually, before they graduate, they kind of publish 3 SCI papers. It's quite easy, actually. I don't think there's anything that will be a problem unless the student does not work very hard or work smart to kind of overcome his or her obstacles in doing the study. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor.
One question is from the professor, Professor Shailesh from RIT India. He's asking from the professor, he used to motivate his students to pursue higher education at NTHU, but he received acceptance for only 2 to 3 students. So, Professor, can you help him to boost admissions?
Okay, I understand. Okay, I understand the question. So really appreciate the question. Actually, IIT students are very, very good students. And I think there's a problem from NTHU side. So that we kind of, I was the director of the college engineering on the international affair, including this kind of acceptance of the international student. We did have a problem, internal problem, because some professors do not recognize how good Indian students are. So as I said, the acceptance totally depends on professors. Of course, about good Indian students. So another way for doing that is that is to make contact with professors, and maybe you can send an email to me, and I can ask them to say, okay, consider that, because for Taiwanese professors and taking international students actually depends on many factors, including the professor's research capability. Okay, not many professors have a very broad facility or space or budget. Okay, so doing research is not free. So some professors like me, of course, I know who didn't want me to keep low profile. So, but like many professors actually, they are very good. So but they do not know about the good Indian student out there. So I think another way is to make contact through me or through the international office, so that we can do that. And so accepting a good student actually the problem is, I think it's an NTHU problem. It's not because the quality of student. Okay, so maybe we can solve this one by talk. You can send me email, and then I can help on link to the right administrators, and then to see we can have a better process, or interviews, that kind of things, and also through making the dual degree or collaboration between professors, we'll be able to, you can recommend your good students, and then we can just do that, so we start working together on projects, kind of funding project between India and Taiwan, and some international projects, so from that way we be able to kind of build our research profile together and put the interaction between students together, and make the cultural exchange together. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, James. I mean, James, really, thank you very much for all the time. And